Hey guys, Pitmaster here. I'm here to do a quick recap of UFC Fight Night 74, like I do after every single UFC. Make sure after every UFC the next day you tune into this YouTube channel because I will give you anywhere from 1 to 10 lessons that are to be learned from the previous UFC. This one I have five. Five lessons to be learned by UFC 74, Holloway versus Oliveira. Okay, number one. Actually, two of them come from the girl fight. Valerie Latermo against Marna Moroz. Okay, two of my lessons come from that fight. That was a good fight. It was a decision. Um, it was a grinding fight. It wasn't fight of the night. It was a good fight. I don't think it was fight of the night. It didn't look like it, but it was a good fight. But the two lessons learned were number one, mix it up. One of the turning points in this fight when it was Valerie threw a really nice liver kick, but practically the second she put her foot down, she threw a right hand, and that right hand landed. It landed really good, hurt Myrna, and put her on her back. And I think that changed the whole, set the tone for the fight. And mixing up your punches and kicks is very important. Mixing up your punches and takedowns is very important. Mixing things up separates MMA from any of its separate genres of martial arts. When you're doing a takedown, even when people are doing a takedown in traditional wrestling, a lot of times they want to put their hands up or do something, a distraction, but basically they just go in for a shot. In MMA, that's not the case. You should follow your shot in with punches or kicks or set it up some way because this is not a wrestling match. It's not a boxing match either. So she wanted to land that right hand, so she threw a liver kick, and as soon as she put her foot down, she threw the right hand. She mixed it up. The right hand landed. The liver kick did, but it didn't do any damage. The right hand did tons of damage, and to me, it set the tone of the fight and helped her win that fight. So mix it up. This is MMA or martial arts in the street or in the cage or in the ring. Mix it up. It's better to mix it up than always be one-dimensional. Okay? Number two, size is very important in fights. I'm not saying if you're the smaller guy, you're never going to win. The Gracie proved that point. But since then, and the evolution of fighting, I don't think that would ever work anymore with the Gracies because how far MMA has come. I think Valerie was much bigger than Marina, or whatever it is. I think she was much bigger and stronger, and I think that helped dictate the decision and the win. She was laying on her more. She felt her weight more, even when they clinched or when Valerie was on top of her. There was just a size discrepancy that was very obvious, and I think it made a big difference in the fight. Valerie's skill and punching power did as well, but Marina had a really good punches as well. And I keep changing her name because I don't really know how to pronounce it, but excuse that. But I think they were both almost even in technicality and skill, but I think Valerie was bigger and stronger, and I think that did help the fight. So number one, my thing is mix it up. Number two, size is important in a fight. So get stronger, get bulkier if you want to get that weight, if you want to go to that next weight class, and if you want to move it down, then move it down. But it's a benefit, and I'm not saying you can't win without it, but it's a benefit to be at the higher end of your weight class than the lower end. Okay. Number three, laser focus. Have laser focus in your fight. OAM, I can't say his name. He's from Montreal. He fought Tony Sims, and it was pretty even in their overall skills. But OAM had Oliver Abin Meckler. I can't say his name. OAM. He had such laser focus on the takedowns. No matter what else happened, he just focused on those takedowns and he got them. And a lot of times that'll happen. You might have laser focus on defending the takedown, and you might be able to defend every takedown. You may have laser focus on getting the knockout with a left hook, and that's what you focus on. You still have to have all your other skills intact and your defense and your offense going, but when you have a laser focus, you're hard to beat. I'll give you an example. Chuck Liddell, if he hit the ground on the bottom, he had laser focus to get up, and he would get up. It wasn't a particular skill or a particular maneuver. He was laserly, and I just made up that word, and I can do that, laserly focused to get up, and he would get up. Matt Hughes once told me when he had someone on the cage, he was laserly focused to take them down and get the underhooks so he could eventually take them down and at least avoid getting taken down. So his laser focus when he was up against the cage was to get those underhooks, and he always did, practically. So laser focus in anything you do. But right now we're talking about martial arts. Be laser focused on your training and when you're in the cage or the ring. Okay? Now, that was number 3. 4 is a very important one. One punch can change everything. One takedown, you can get up. A couple of takedowns, you can get up. Even different positions, you can get out of positions. You know, the guy might get him and get a submission, but one punch changes everything. Patrick Cote against Josh Berkman, fight was back and forth, back and forth. One solid right hand changed everything. Patrick Cote landed a right hand, changed everything. Francisco Trinidado against Chad, one punch changed everything. They were going back and forth, and then one punch changed everything in the fight. The same with, to me, not to as much of a degree, but to me, the one punch that Valerie landed changed the whole direction and reflection and inflection. I just threw those words in and helped her win the fight. But unlike clinching, takedowns, and positioning, one punch changes everything. Boom, like that. You can win or lose the fight with one punch. Okay? Now, number 5, I'm going to talk about the main event, Max Holloway against Charles Oliveira. Some things just happen in a fight. In real life too, but we're talking about fighting and martial arts. So some things just happen. I'll give you a perfect example. Sugar Ray Leonard was fighting Roberto Duran. Roberto Duran got a really bad stomach cramp, and he quit. He basically quit in the fight, which for some reason it wasn't acceptable in boxing. He was hated after that. But it's okay in MMA because you can tap and you can not fight anymore if something's wrong, and that's fine. I mean, you shouldn't be a quitter, and nobody is, just like Roberto Duran wasn't. But Charles Oliveira got a severe pain, and he got really scared because he didn't know what it was. It was happening in his neck. I mean, you got a crazy, serious pain in your neck after getting up off a scramble. I mean, you can fight another time. Get out of the fight. I mean, it could have been life-threatening. It wasn't, but it could have been. It ended up being a minor tear, which isn't good. If there's a tear anywhere in your body, that's not a good sign, okay? He had an esophageal tear, and it could be terrible, but it wasn't. Luckily, he had the best, ref out there. And then Max Holloway could have landed a shin kick and punched him because he basically just said, I can't fight anymore. I don't know what's happening here. And it was a smart thing to do, but Max Holloway had the class and the bushido and the humility that he basically just tapped him in the ribs a couple times because that's what you're supposed to do. You're never supposed to stop until the referee stops him. So he just basically tapped him in the ribs until Herb Dean, called a halt to it and rushed him to the hospital, and they found out he had a torn esophagus. It's a great win for Max Holloway. You won. I mean, that could happen to you at any time. So when it happens in a fight or anywhere in life, take it. Because anything can happen at any time, and it could happen on the negative side on you. So when it happens on a positive side, take it and don't feel bad about it and don't look back, because in life there'll be so many times where you're going to think, I wish that could happen for my benefit. So anytime you can get any kind of luck or an easy fight, take it, because there's so many tough fights out there. Take the easy ones and don't feel bad about them, okay? That's my 5 lessons. I hope you liked it. Please comment below. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me anytime. Thanks for coming.